so you can see us better. This is kind of dark.
Oh, dear goodness. Doesn't even be that bright.
It's dark.
Difference in opinion on that.
It's still dark.
It's not dark.
It's better.
I'm like a beam of light in my face. So it's not that dark.
Oh my gosh. Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm Jenny. This is KB. She's drinking a smoothie.
Yeah, breakfast smoothie.
A breakfast smoothie.
It's yummy.
And we are on today to talk to you all about answering your questions.
Woo!
Yeah, it's
Hello.
Hey Whitney, how's it going? It's been a long time since we've done a live video.
Yeah.
A long time.
Quite some time.
But we got a really... That's where the camera is, babes.
Yes. I'm looking at chat.
You're looking at the chat.
I must look at chat.
We got a really interesting question, and we were like, we really need to give this kind of a more in-depth answer than we can really put in the comments. So we decided to do a Q&A.
Hi.
Hi, Grace. Hi, Destiny. How's it going, y'all? So we decided to do a Q&A.
Yep.
And take some more questions and see what questions you all had. So if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We do have a list already of questions that we had asked. Do you want to drag it over?
Yeah, I was just about to do that.
Yeah.
Mind reader over here.
So that we can see them. So the question that started all of this is pretty lengthy. And then after that, we have two stories that we've been planning to tell. Whitney says, "Hey girl, I'm seeing you everywhere." Oh, to Destiny. Oh, are you all like fans of the same stuff and you're popping up in the same chats and stuff? That's fun. So after what happened with Freen and Becky, where basically like a lot of people were shipping them, there was a video that came out of Freen with someone other than Becky. Sang is his name?
I think something like that.
Yeah. And a lot of people were disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people fell off of doing reactions to them, and we continued to do reactions to them. Because we really felt that as actors, we really respect Freen and Becky, and they did an amazing job in Gap the Series. They have more projects coming out that look amazing.
Yes.
And as actors, we both feel that like their job is to do a good portrayal of their characters, and that's all we're really owed by them. Whitney said, saying update, he said that they tried a relationship, but it never developed.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay. So at that time, when we first found out about all of this, we were saying that all that we really felt we were owed between Freen and Becky was them doing a good job as actors in their roles. But we do like watching them together. We like watching them interact.
They're so cute.
They're really cute. And whatever their relationship may be, we just adore watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got an in-depth question that has to do with queer baiting and our thoughts around that. And as we get ready, it's like several questions. As we get ready to answer that, I want to really remind you all that we're coming at this not as people who are like scholarly, like queer studies majors or anything like that. We are lesbian and bi women who like seeing two women together.
Mm-hmm.
We like what we like, and it's not like a whole like scholarly thing to us when we approach stuff like this. So that being said, do you want to read the question?
Yeah. So this actually was 2 months ago. It was from Vixen Valori.
Mm-hmm.
And so just a curious question.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think queer baiting occurs in this kind of industry or setting? I'm new to the boy love, G loves industry and like to see the fan service come with a package to promote their ship. I guess they have more sponsorships too. Like where does it line get blurry?
Okay. So there's kind of two questions there.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is when do you think queer baiting occurs in this kind of setting? To me, I think that queer baiting is a term that's like anything to do with the word queer, I'm kind of iffy on, to be honest with you, because queer to me kind of means everything and nothing at the same time. It's just a very vague word.
Right.
And that's why I specified, like, you identify as a lesbian, I identify as a bisexual woman. And those are pretty specific things. The word queer is sort of like anything vaguely LGBTQ plus, like, and so, like, when I hear queer baiting, I think it's like something that is like baiting people for any of those things. And when you look at LGBTQ, each of those is something separate. So this is looking at something that in any way hints at anything that's in any way queer. So that being said, can mean a lot of different things. I think it happens when people start really strongly hinting that they're in a relationship and like saying things that are relationship-y, which I think that Freen and Becky, I feel like it's more so their behavior. When we look at them, it's more their behaviors that can be read into than things that they've actually like purposely said. They have some very like spicy videos.
Oh yeah, the
like
mag shoots.
Yeah, but those mag shoots are staged. That's I
true.
feel like that's something very different because those are staged and almost like them acting, right? Them more as characters. What I'm talking about is like, remember that TikTok where like I think it was Becky who was kind of dancing and then Freen came and like put her hands on her.
Yeah.
So that's very spicy, but I feel like it's still, to me, it's still not enough.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's their actions, and I feel like that could just be the way that they are together. But in general, I think that it really like has to have more like straight up relationship-y stuff. Okay, so we have some comments. Also, so true, no matter the relationship, they truly care about each other, from Whitney. And Destiny says facts. Yeah, definitely. That's super, super clear. And I think like it is a lot more complicated with relationships between women because women just
are close.
As a whole tend to like culturally display more affection for one another. Like I feel like it's a lot more, especially depending on where you're from, culturally like acceptable for women to be closer, to show affection for one another than it is for men to do the same, which is again why like when you look at the word queer, it just means anything and everything. I think it's a very different thing when two men get very close together than when two women do it, because women can be very close friends and it be more like generally societally acceptable. And we did see that with Heidi and Engfa, I believe. No, Heidi and Charlotte. They were hugging each other because they're both like have Western culture in them, and that's not as typical, they were saying, in Thailand. So when they would hug each other, people started shipping them. So, you know, for two women to hug and do certain things, it seems like it's a lot more common. Otaku Crushes, hey Charlie!
How you doing?
So glad I caught this. I'm so glad. They're flirting. I miss it. And these haters have ruined. Oh, sorry, no. They ruined it for you. Don't let them ruin it. So in general, that's kind of my thoughts. Do you want to add anything about queer baiting as a whole? I think it has to be
a very interesting concept, right? Because I don't even know when this even started, right? The first time I heard queer baiting, I was like, what even is this? I had to look it up because there was something I was watching at the time, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but there were two really close girl characters. Really, really close, right?
Yeah.
And then, actually, you know what? Let's go off for a second. You remember Once Upon a Time? Do you remember Aurora and Mulan?
Yeah.
They were so close, okay?
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna get together.
Yeah.
And the first thing that came to my mind when they did, and I was like, that's queer baiting.
Right, yeah.
And then you had Mulan who got close to Ruby, and then all of a sudden Ruby was with Dorothy, and I'm like, what happened? Just give Mulan a girl.
Right.
I really was rooting for that Aurora thing, man. And if you go back, like I actually got so into that. I forget the ship name because it's been such a long time. But I remember like watching videos and like reading like articles about like what they were talking about, and every scene the two of them were together. And I'm like, why did Aurora and Mulan not happen?
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that.
Yeah.
So that to me, I appreciated the relationship, but to me, if we're talking about queer debating, that to me was because Mulan definitely, and I thought Aurora did too, had things for Mulan. And
well, I think the reason why a lot of people have issues with queer baiting is because of like historically, like gay characters and trans characters and anyone in the quote unquote, I don't like to use the word queer community. I like to say like specifically what community we're talking about. But I do think the LGBT community as a whole like has been left out of a lot of media.
Yeah.
And there are two sides to the history of queer baiting. One of which is like it's better than nothing.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Okay.
we gotta check in the chat. Talk about what we're talking about, okay? And then we'll get back to it. Okay. So we're talking about like the history of queer baiting. They didn't used to have gay characters, trans characters. Now it's more common.
Yeah.
And so it's different now than what it was before. I think there are two sides to it historically. It's better than nothing, like because there weren't outright. You don't have to look at the chat the whole time. There weren't.
I like to.
Okay. There weren't like outright same-sex couples and things like that at the time. So like queer coding and queer baiting was almost like all that we had.
Yeah, especially villains.
Yeah. So that's why like we all have crushes on villains at this point. Which has its effects now in characters like Catra, who is like a villain and ended up being like a love interest, a gay love interest. Anyway, that's my thoughts on like when does it occur? I think like when there's hints at a relationship.
Yeah.
That being said, as a bisexual woman, there are instances where people get upset that queer baiting occurred that I'm like, okay, but that was just hot.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Let's talk about
looking at it as
Riverdale.
Yes, and
Betty and Veronica's kiss. That was unexpected. And I was like,
and that's one
that's
of the
hot.
things that a lot of people call
was really hot.
as queer baiting, and I'm just like, I don't really have a problem with it. I think what happened was that they were advertising Betty and Veronica kissing, and then when it happened, it was just like they were trying to get on the cheerleading. That's what's called cheerleading team. And they kiss each other at the tryout, and it's just a kiss for show. And I'm like, it's not what you think. I don't have any problem with two pretty girls, pretty women kissing each other and not getting in a relationship.
Yeah, and
I think it's kind of cute.
I didn't think that was queer baiting because first of all, it just happened. And I've known girls that have friends growing up that just kiss each other and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes girls kiss each other for attention from boys.
Yeah.
I have no problem with any of that. So I think like maybe I even like seeing it and I'm like, damn, that's hot. Like I don't have a problem.
Oh yeah, Betty and Veronica kissing was hot. Anyway, before we get into this, we got a couple questions
go
here.
ahead, do the questions.
So Whitney says FB won't even touch each other anymore. I mean, Freen won't even open Becky's water anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
Otaku graduates, did you guys know there's a rough set date for Arcane Season 2? We heard it was going to be sometime in November of next year. That's exciting.
A rough set date. So, like, is it like a date
is it like
November?
Yeah.
We've definitely been keeping our eyes peeled for that.
A lot of Freenbeck fandom just miss seeing the relationship and don't care what they have together.
And those from Whitney, yeah. And then Grace says, I think queer baiting has lost its meaning. I used to follow YouTubers, and there were two YouTubers who were close, both guys, and kissed each other on the cheek, and everyone was yelling queer baiting. Yeah.
Wow, dang.
That's interesting. And the thing about kissing someone on the cheek is like culturally, like my family's Puerto Rican, we all kiss each other on the cheek, like, you know, and even my other friends, we kiss each other on the cheek. And I know there's other places like France where you kiss someone on the cheek to greet them.
Yeah.
Like those kind of signs of affection, depending on where you're from and your culture, are extremely, like their meanings are extremely varied.
Yeah.
So I can see how that would happen. And I feel like also, like, a lot of people are so quick to judge and jump
Mhm.
on, like, hate trains and stuff
Oh,
like that
yeah,
in this day
especially
and
in this
age.
yeah, especially this day
We're
and
just, like,
age.
honestly, like, we run our mouths because we're kinda not afraid to get canceled. We're like, "Whatever. Come at us, bro." Like,
Yeah, there was something that was recent, and it was an animation, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was, again, like, already calls for queer baiting. Now, there are things where it is a thing. Now, if we go to Voltron, that definitely had, if you wanna use the term queer baiting, that sucked. That sucked. I felt so bad
Well,
because
it seems like with that, like, the story was actively and that's what we were talking at the
but
beginning,
the
like,
thing
what does queer baiting mean?
that was queer
The
baiting.
story was actively leading you
It
to
was!
believe and I haven't seen it, but she's told me
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it was leading you to believe that it was gonna be a
yeah,
gay
it did.
story.
And because you had this character that was interested in this other character and had no interest whatsoever, then these other two got really close together, and then the character that wasn't interested all of a sudden was interested, and I'm just like, it was so forced. So much that the fandom actually recreated that entire show, like season. They're like, nope, this is not happening. It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad for people that were really fans of that ship because I'm like, well, it's obviously gonna happen. I mean, right? DreamWorks was like, no, I don't think it will. It was so bad. I felt really bad. I had like friends that were just like really hardcore fans and people that in the community, and they just were so mad at them because they just not let it happen. They're like, we didn't think it was that popular. And I'm like, really, guys?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I think to me, like, the problem comes not in like I think the word queer baiting, like, it's kind of this broad term, but underneath it, it's like, what's the, like, deeper level issue? And I would say deception, right? Like, I think that, like, there were people who felt deceived by Betty and Veronica, like, promoting their kiss. I didn't because I don't jump to conclusions like that, and I was just like, "Oh, cute, they kiss, that's fun." But, like, I think that those people felt deceived. I think what's happening more often is, like, that people are getting upset that they're deceived, but I think, like, sometimes they're reading into things and feeling like they're promised things that they never were promised. Like, Freen and Becky never promised that they were in a relationship. They just were very cute and close to each other, and people started to think it meant X, Y, and Z, and they felt deceived, but it wasn't something that they promised us, right?
No, they didn't. They're just really good chemistry regardless.
Yeah.
And we've got some more questions here. And let's see here. Charlie says, I know it's late next year, so we're on the same page. Okay, so it's not guaranteed to be November. Whitty says, I think people just throw queer baiting around for things that aren't.
Just, like, close in front of me.
They do, says Destiny. But he says, them throwing that around has cost Freen income and her health and safety, as well as Becky, when they never said they were together.
Do you want me to read this? Because you're, like, having to reach across.
It's fun, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. She's like, I want my cheek nuzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really upsetting.
Dude, that's awful. And you know, the problem is we both thought when people were getting really into Freddie and Becky, and if anything ever came out, like the safety of the people, the safety, and it's just nasty, and it sucks that that's happening to her. She's such a sweet person.
Yeah, they both are. And then Grace says some fans call Uranus kissing Usagi and Crystal queer baiting when it isn't, because Uranus has Neptune. So there is no baiting going on.
There's no baiting.
And Usagi's feelings toward Haruka are shown and not hidden. Okay, wait, let me break that down. So I'm like a little confused. Okay, so Uranus kissing Usagi, they think it's queer baiting.
Crystal.
Well, first of all, Uranus is, like, actually at the very least sapphic. Probably a lesbian, like, probably. And it isn't because Uranus has Neptune, so there is no baiting. Yeah, like, Uranus and Neptune are clearly in a relationship. It's pretty obvious to me that Usagi was sexually confused.
Oh yeah,
by Sailor Uranus and, like, having feelings toward her. So I don't consider the two of them kissing queer baiting at all. Like,
no, that's not queer baiting.
It's just Uranus kissing Usagi.
Yeah, that's all that really is.
I don't think it's, like, she did it.
Stay away, I'll kiss you.
Yeah, kind of. To kind of, like, intimidate her. Obviously that kiss is very complicated. A lot of people have a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I of course adore Uranus and Neptune.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the ship of Usagi with Uranus. You,
Uh,
you don't. She doesn't.
So here's the thing. It's not a bad ship. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. But I really
and I
want.
consider it a ship. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think they're actually gonna get together.
But I
right?
want
But
Uranus Neptune
it's a
to
cute
kiss
ship.
on screen. I want to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Maybe Cosmos. I don't know.
Mhm, yeah. I like those strong power dynamics. I like that Uranus is just like very
Mhm.
much like a tough chick, and like I got it, and like Usagi's like cute and innocent. Like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
'Cause I like stuff
You're
like
a big
that.
fan of that.
But she likes the fact that Neptune is kind of like,
Yes.
to Uranus.
Yes.
And that she
puts
kind
her
of
in her
like
place.
reins her in a little bit.
She sure does.
So I definitely don't consider that queer baiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Uranus's intentions kissing, and they were in Senshi form, so Sailor Moon,
Mm-hmm.
at the time were, and I had to, like, honestly, when she kissed her, my brain was like like, what? Because I had only seen the 90s anime before that.
Right.
So when I saw it, I was just like, that happened?
That happened.
And for those of you who don't know, like, Uranus in general is very significant to me. Like, she was my gay awakening. I was probably, I'm guessing now in the 5th grade. It was
Mhm.
somewhere between the 4th and 6th grade when I first saw that part of Sailor Moon, and all the Senshi. Like, I really liked them
Mhm.
as friends and stuff. They're all friends together, and they all were crushing on Haruka, and I was like, oh, cute boy, okay, like, they're all crushing together, right? And then they find out that Haruka is a girl,
Mhm.
and are like, oh, that's a girl, now we don't crush on him anymore. And I
Mhm.
was like, why didn't my feelings change? Right? So that was my gay awakening. I don't know what to call it, bi awakening.
Yeah.
I thought for most of my life I was pansexual. Now I consider myself
Mhm.
bisexual, which is a whole story for another day. But for me, that was like my bi awakening. Was like, yeah, I'm into her either way. Like, that's a girl, I'm okay with it. Like, so very significant for me. So when I saw Sailor Uranus kissing Sailor Moon, my brain was like, phew. But it also seemed to come out of nowhere to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why is she doing that?
Mm-hmm.
The explanation that I like the best is that she was trying to intimidate her. Yeah. And like, people complain about her cheating on Neptune, and I think that Neptune and Uranus put their mission above everything else.
They always do.
Including their own selves and their own
feelings.
They
always do.
So that being said, I think that Neptune was okay with it because Uranus was doing it kind of to intimidate Sailor Moon, and it was for the mission, and therefore I think she would have understood. And I don't think that they considered that like her doing it because of her romantic feelings. I think she was doing it because of her mission to scare Sailor Moon away.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That being said, I don't think it was hinting at a relationship between the two of them. It was just her kissing her, and therefore I don't think it's queer baiting.
Yeah,
and she's an actual like sapphic character at the very least. Okay. So, let's see what else we've got.
Vi and Caitlin are definitely not queer baiting. They are the best kind of slow burn ever.
Yeah, man. And the thing is that, honestly, though, here's the thing for me is that I typically don't like slow burns.
No, she hates it.
For me, I mean, and it doesn't have to be a relationship, but I like when something happens. Like, a story has to start with a big boom for me, and it doesn't have to be relationship wise. It has to be something exciting. And that Arcane started with like, what the heck is going on?
I'm still never gonna forget. I'll just give it a couple episodes, and then if I don't like it, you could just watch it.
Yeah,
okay.
And then like. What are we watching? This is so good.
It's 2 a.m. We need to go to bed. We need to finish watching the show.
We need to watch this more. Going to bed, watching more Arcane.
You know, a funny thing about her too is very rarely will you binge stuff. Like you'll binge something on Netflix if it's something that you're really into, like Outer Banks or whatever.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, if I'm getting into something,
she wants to keep watching.
I want to keep watching
I need
it.
to take breaks.
And she takes breaks. Arcane, there was no breaks.
Yeah, but the thing is, like yes, in a way, they're like a slow burn, but also it's like an extremely like spicy hot slow burn. So yeah, I remember like a while back we had read that article about like saying that they were queer baiting. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
talking about?
It's not.
First of all, they're both like obviously lesbians.
Yeah.
Like at least strongly sapphic, but like probably lesbians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, like they're both obviously like very into each other.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many signs and so many things.
There's a lot going on there. Not to mention, Amanda Overton said that Caitlyn has had quite some girls, sneak into her bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, and I think like part of this tendency for people to call queer baiting left and right comes from the fact that a lot of people have been through hard things.
Yeah.
Like people rejecting them because they're gay or they're trans or like just the hardships in their own lives that they become very sensitive to anything and anyone that they think is a threat or and I think that's very real.
Yeah.
I think that that's where a lot of that comes from. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay, so what else have we got? Whitney says, I think a lot of the FH interfans are the problem because they just don't understand the BL and GL culture.
Could be, yeah. Same with Uranus.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see how, like, if you don't understand, like, I think a lot of people getting into, like, if it's, like, your first BL or GL, like, there's a lot that, a lot of culture surrounding it. Yeah. And I think the same thing happens with anime fans when they're like, what the heck are these things? And you're like, oh yeah, that happens all the time in anime, and they just don't like pick up on the nuance of certain things.
Yeah, and I think too sometimes like subtext and queer baiting, sometimes people think, oh well, there's subtext, so then it doesn't happen, it's been queer baiting. But subtext has been along for a very long time, with anime especially. A really good one. And I mean, even though they may or may not have confirmed Homoda's feelings for Madoka in Madoka, you can see that Homoda and Madoka's relationship is very deep.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. But it definitely does seem like it could go in that direction. Who knows, the new movie coming out? I know you're excited for that.
It looks scary.
But subtext too, I saw someone that was complaining about, well, there's subtext, so it's queer baiting. I'm like, no, that's not queer baiting. It's just subtext. Enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. Subtext.
Yeah.
Unless you're already animated, I'm like,
and to be honest with you, like, I think that people in trying to like protect their stories from things like queer baiting or like killing off gays have made certain stories a lot more predictable, because you're like, they're not gonna kill off the gay character, or they're not gonna have the, like, if it's like a thing between, is she gonna end up with another woman or a man, they're not gonna have her end up with a man, she's gonna end up with the other woman, so it's not considered queer baiting. I think in a way that's made some stories kind of predictable.
So, well, and this is again a little bit going off, kind of same thing. If you've ever seen the movie Kissing Jessica Stein, it's a really good movie, but the ending is like, what the heck just happened?
I haven't watched it because I've heard that.
We'll watch it, and I'm really curious with your reaction. Anyway, we got some more comments here. Let's see. However, we will still see a ship and Cosmos between the two of the inners that I wish Naoko had made canon, because it's only implied. Still wouldn't consider it queer bait. Ooh, I'm excited. By the way, Usagi is a bisexual icon. Yes.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Let's see here. Have you guys watched the Loyal Pin video? So yes, we did actually check out what they have for Loyal Pin. We're very excited for that. It looks so great, and you love those types of shows too.
Yeah, I like period
Oh my
dramas.
gosh, yeah. So definitely look forward to that one.
Yeah.
And let's see what else here.
Oh.
The same.
I have a question about my shirt. Charlie Otaku Graduates. Here's my shirt.
Oh yeah.
I'll put a link to it after. I'll drop a link in the comments.
It's badass.
Because this is from TeePublic, and we have a TeePublic affiliate. So we'll drop our affiliate link.
Your hair is hiding it. How dare?
Yes,
How dare your hair do that? Yes. I agree, Whitney. Xena and Gabrielle. You haven't seen Xena Warrior Princess, have you?
I've seen little bits and pieces, but not enough to like see the show.
It's so good. It is so good. It is a very long show, but it is a really good show.
And yes, Destiny, we are gonna put up a reaction video.
There shall be a reaction video today. Absolutely. Are you a fan? Oh yes.
Read the question, babes.
Okay,
She's
sorry.
too excited.
And KB, are you a fan of Nia? Yes, I love Evangelion. It's from Charlie. Okay, I'm excited. Yes, I freaking love Evangelion. I watched it probably when I shouldn't have because I was pretty young when I found it on Adult Swim, which I probably also shouldn't have been watching because it was called Adult Swim. I was a huge fan of Evangelion from the moment I started watching it, right? And I love Asuka. Asuka is the best girl. Evangelion is such an interesting anime,
we can
and
drop the link to that too.
Definitely like warp your mind.
Yeah. Actually, we did like an unboxing video. We haven't put up yet. Yes. We have like so many videos that we try to like space out.
Yes. Yes. No, this is my pride and joy shirt. And the funny thing about Asuka too is that I have a lot of figures of her, but I've never had a shirt of her. I think I have a wall scroll of her too somewhere, but never a shirt of her. But yeah, Evangelion, I love it. It's a great anime. Rebuild was amazing.
Didn't you say that's where you like? That was your first tsundere?
That was my first introduction to a tsundere, and I was like, "Who is this character? She's feisty." And she's got a lot of stuff going on too, a lot of actually really sad, depressing stuff as well. But I tried to get Jenny to watch Rebuild. I got her into it a little bit, and then
I watched a little bit. I don't think it's my thing. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, no, I do. It took a while though for Rebuild to conclude because the first two movies came out relatively quickly, and then the third movie took a while, and then the fourth one, because of the pandemic, took forever to come out. So it's very, 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 very good.
You want to read the rest and then we'll get back to our question? Yeah, sure. We have
Xena is so good, says what? Yes, man. Xena is amazing. Charlie says, I have the Xena. Oh, wow.
What does it say? The box
set? Wow.
What is it? Kamida? I don't know how that.
So let's see what he says. I have a Xena box set as well. Whitney says, oh my gosh, you have the cosmetics and the sword. That's awesome. Charlie says, favorite Xena character? Ooh, I really like Gabriella, man. She's really cute and sweet, and she can kick my butt. Like, she can kick anyone's butt. Yeah, I'm so surprised. I mean, I know it was like early, but we were pretty young when Xena came out. But I'm so surprised you didn't really got into it. It seems like you're kind of chill, like Warrior Princess.
I didn't really watch it.
I think you have a crush on Xena, probably.
Maybe. Could be.
Maybe.
Okay, let's answer the rest of this first question. It's a several part question.
Yeah, it's a pretty so.
Okay, here we go.
So here's an interesting thing about it. They've been more let's see, Vixen's been more familiar with K-pop shipping, and they do a lot of fan service too since fans love it. Korea has been mostly, not all, insensitive, not yet so welcome to queerness, yet their media capitalizes on it, but antagonizes when some idols might actually be queer, since it's so common to Koreans to be considered heteronormatively, and they tend to think it's partly cultural. Here's something really interesting. I've never really associated like fan service with K-pop because I generally will listen to it, but I never really watch the music videos.
Or like gotten into kind of the culture of
I must find some music videos now.
Yeah. And like the truth is, for me, like I haven't gotten that deep into K-pop. I have friends who are, and one of my friends who's really into it. It was so funny. I was at lunch with him and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Atlanta to see Twice.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you're going there for the second time to see the same band? And he's like, no, I'm going to see Twice. And I was like, what? And he's like, that's the band's name, Twice. And I didn't even know that was like a band's name. And I was just like, yeah. Oh! So we did watch one of their music videos.
Yeah, dude.
We really
their music is good. Like I'm a fan. You know?
I feel like I would like K-pop. I just haven't like gotten into it enough.
I'm trying to think
know about it.
But the whole fan servicey thing. I'm trying to think of the two music videos. Well, I think we actually watched like 4 music videos of Twice. I'm trying to remember if there was fan service now.
I don't know. I don't know. And there's a lot. The thing is that the truth is we aren't in that circle like of fandom. I think we're mostly anime fans.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things, like, when we first started talking, we met through a dating app. We first started talking, we realized we were both like into art, into cosplay, and into anime. And that's one of the things that we first bonded over.
Yeah.
So she is a gamer and I'm not so much. Like, I played games when I was younger, but I didn't like keep up with it. But I've been like a long-term anime fan, so we really like bonded a lot over our love of anime fandom, and things like that. So, anything else in this question?
Let's see here.
But I think the same things that we were talking about apply. There was more.
They tend to think it's partially cultural, hence they have heavily leaned to their respective gender roles as they've made to believe. When does the line get blurry in entertaining fans by doing too much fan service? Correlation to Freenbeck's ship, I heard a statement were hurtful to the community, but not the harmful kind.
I'm kind of confused by that a little bit.
The interesting question though about the blind, but when does it get blurry?
I think when does it get blurry? I think that it's when people start saying that it's a relationship.
Yeah,
that's problem
true.
with two women, consenting women kissing each other.
Yes.
Like, I have no problem with them doing that, even to get fans happy or whatever. like maybe I'll enjoy watching it. I don't know. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I do think that the problem is when people come against people who are gay. I have a problem with that. Not with people who are consenting adults kissing. Yeah. So I can see how it's upsetting, because you're like, why is this okay but not the real thing? I can see that it's how it can be upsetting.
Yeah.
But I also am someone who's always more about promoting what I love than putting down what I hate.
Yeah.
And so if I see like a person who is actually a lesbian or a gay person, and I think that they're being come down on for that, then I would do what I could to support them, right? I would speak on their behalf. I would like say how great I liked some of their work, whatever of it I do like. I would buy their merchandise. I would like go to their concerts, like whatever it is to support the people that I want to stand behind and promote what it is that I want to see flourish and grow, rather than focus. Again, I think that there's a lot of people who have been through hard times, and that's why they're like, we need to stand against XYZ. But I like to stand for something, not against something. So promoting the things that I do want to see, focusing on that, I have no problem with even two straight women deciding that they want to kiss for attention. It's not hurting anyone. Like,
hot.
Yeah, like I might enjoy watching it.
Yeah, hey, why not? You know,
it's not to me a problem.
Yeah. No, it was when I was a teenager. We had this. Anyone's played Spin the Bottle, you know, or they did the Dare, whatever. I had two probably. They were very straight edge girls kissing each other, friends of mine. And I was just like, my 13-year-old self's mind was like, what even is this? This is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Yes, Charlie, Gabrielle is the best. Yeah, babes, want to say what Whitney says?
I have to run and mod for my friend. Love Cena, and it was my gay awakening.
I've heard Xena was a lot of people's gay awakening. Well, thanks for stopping by, Whitney.
Yes. Otaku Graduate says, I listened to some K-pop songs, but I thankfully avoided the fandom hole that a lot of my friends fell into. Yeah. I just like, and I think it's a lot. There's a lot, like when you go to anime conventions, there's people like doing dance routines at the cosplay contest to K-pop songs. A lot of people playing K-pop, selling K-pop merchandise. I always like thought it looked cool, but just never got into it enough to know about the fandom.
Yeah.
Otaku Graduate, same here. I am crazed anime otaku nerd.
Yes.
Yeah. Grace says Madonna and Britney Spears kissing at the VMAs.
Oh,
LOL.
yeah.
I was okay with
my
it. I was
gosh.
like, they did what?
Yes.
They
Oh my
did
gosh. When I
what?
saw that, I was like,
Yeah,
this
I'm okay
sparked
with it.
so much joy. That was hot.
Yeah. Otaku Garter says, oh my gosh. And the look on JT's face. Boom.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was some good stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just remember I was just like, damn, this happened. I'm like, nah, this did happen. It was most wonderful.
Yes. Yes. Okay, was there anything else to that question?
Not really. No.
Okay. So yeah, that's our thoughts on queerbaiting
Yeah.
as a whole. Like, we don't know specifically about K-pop.
No.
But as a whole, like, I just think that it is when it's deceptive to me that it's a problem.
Yeah.
If people start hinting, and even then, like, we like the band Tattoo. We both like.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
the band Tattoo. Who, like,
Tattoo
came out, for those of you who don't know, it was like what, early 2000s?
Gosh,
late
early
90s, early 2000s.
early 2000s. I mean, I love Tattoo's music and everything like that, and I didn't really know much about them per se. They made great music, right?
Yeah.
And there was a thing that the two of them were quote unquote queer baiting because of like how close they were in their music videos and outside of the music videos, and they may or may not have been in a relationship, and they may or may not have ended it. We don't know.
But their marketing surrounded the two of them kissing.
They did.
The idea that the two of them would be a couple.
Yep.
And then later it turned out that one of them was seen with a man. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's been a long time, but
It's
I
been a
remember
long
when it came out, it was very upsetting.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, they're not genuine. And I'm thinking to myself, but they're performers, right?
Yeah.
Just what you see in a music video doesn't mean they're actually like that. They're not actually together. If they're together, great. If they're not together, they make great music and really awesome music videos.
A situation where, like, I think a lot of people did feel deceived.
They did.
They felt deceived by
it.
But honestly, like, we still like
yeah, I still listen to their music.
And they made new music after, like, even after, not, I don't know how new.
Yeah.
But they made more music after all of that happened. And we like that too. We like watching it.
Yeah, that's one that I know a lot of people were upset about. I had a lot of friends that stopped watching their music videos and buying their music. I've never felt so betrayed. I'm like, but they didn't promise you that, right? Like, they're just really, that's just what their brand does, you know? And it's really hot, I want to tell you. Aren't you mad? No. No, I want more.
All right. And then, let's see. Otaku Garage said, do you guys have a fave anime series or a number one waifu?
Dang,
I think
Charlie,
that I might have to think about that one.
Oh god,
I might have to give that one some thought and maybe come back later.
I don't know. Like, I watched a lot of anime, but we've only watched episode. But I will say that shout out Ojosama is very close from I'm in Love with the Villainess being one of my favorite waifus.
And we've like just started watching that, but I think that like hits so hard and so close and home for you.
It's such it's such a relatable anime to me, so I'm just kind of like, dang man. So maybe her, very close. There's so many anime waifus. But yeah, now two more interesting, not more interesting, but other questions we had here. And this
like
was
additional interesting questions.
Yeah,
this was not that they're higher.
No. Petty Test 6233. What ice cream flavor is your favorite?
I like chocolate with chocolate and some more chocolate.
Okay, but like
I like Rocky Road.
Yeah, Rocky Road's pretty good.
But honestly, like I like a lot of chocolate. And actually I know it's not only one flavor, but I really like the peanut butter with like like Oreo cookies in it. That one's good. I do eat like non-dairy ice cream. The So Delicious brand is the main one that I eat. Because and now I'm not doing dairy again. I had been eting dairy. Now
Don't mean no more goat cheese?
No, I'll have a little goat cheese. Goat cheese is like amazing. Softer. We eat like local goat cheese from like a farm. It's very wholesome. And so it's also like gluten-free Oreo cookies. Yeah. But that's one of my favorites. What about you? Ice cream flavor?
I really love chocolate ice cream as well, but I also like to mix different ice cream flavors together.
Of course you
because you can't just have chocolate by itself. I had made this concoction and it was dark chocolate ice cream.
Okay.
And I also had added, it was a like crunchy kind of cookie ice cream too, kind of like cookies and cream.
Okay.
And then to top it off, I had put this strawberry, and it was really good.
That sounds good.
And then I put a bunch of like chocolate on top of it.
So to mix things together.
I do,
yeah.
but if I had to choose one ice cream flavor, I really, really, really like dark chocolate ice cream. It's just, I like dark chocolate in general. Like I'll eat like 95%, 98% dark. You tried it, dark chocolate. It's so good. But yeah, give me that chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
What do you like to do for self-care?
Individual self-care. We do a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And I used to be like a full-time yoga meditation teacher. So I'm very involved in like different types of self-care. I start my day doing a metta meditation, which comes from like the Buddhist tradition. And it's all about connecting with loving kindness and compassion for yourself and the world, and it's really amazing. I'm not Buddhist, but I think it's really neat that there's like people all over the world connecting with loving kindness through meditation. So that's really special to me, to start my day with that. And we also like doing Donna Eden style of daily energy.
Yes.
Daily energy
DER.
routine, the DER she calls it. And if anyone's interested in that, we can link to it because she has it up on YouTube.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much time either.
Like tapping, different types of tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take like anywhere from 5 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on how much you want to do with it. But it's really just nice.
Yeah.
Nice to start your day.
And then the third thing that I do every morning is from Tony Riddle. He goes on Instagram by The Natural Lifestylist, and he is a barefoot style runner, and he teaches like rewilding your feet, rewilding your movements and things like that. Getting back to nature. And so I do his like foot exercises and foot stretches, and we both wear barefoot style shoes now. Like you all, and you might remember, Charlie, we had to leave early from MegaCon because our feet were hurting. That was before we started wearing like barefoot style shoes. So we're both like, even in our cosplay, wearing barefoot style shoes. And I do those foot exercises. She had like kind of a head start because you used to like run around barefoot as a kid.
Oh yeah, I rarely wear shoes as a kid. I would like be outside all the time. So I always, people would make fun of my feet because they're not like your typical like closed in toes or whatever. They're spread. Yeah. And they'd be like, your feet look so ridiculous. And little did I know that's actually how your feet are supposed to be. And I'm like, well, yeah, not so weird now.
Yeah. So some of those things we do together. Usually I do the metta meditation. But we both do daily energy routine, and then I do the foot exercise on my own. We also do workouts.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I've been enjoying the workouts.
Monday through Friday, we do workouts. And then we sometimes go for walks. I was joking with one of my friends who was going to a pride parade. She's like, I'm going to the local pride parade. And I was like, yeah, my wife and I hold hands walking around our neighborhood in the morning. Like, does that count as a pride parade? So sometimes we go for walks, if we're not doing a workout. Yeah. And I do yoga. I used to practice yoga every day. Now not every day anymore. But I do practice yoga from time to time. And I also practice Qigong. I really like Qigong. We both have the weirdest schedules ever, and that's why it took us 2 months. We were like, we're gonna do a Q&A, and it took us like 2 months to finally schedule this. So our schedules are kind of like in terms of adding anything else on, like even like maintaining a daily yoga practice or something like that at this point would be a little bit much, but we do those other things, some of it together, some of it on our own. And I also am in a singing group. And I consider that self-care too. Waking up my voice. You enjoy it. And singing music that's like very soulful and that I really feel aligned and attuned to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Anything else in here?
Let's see.
Yeah. Did you?
Chocolate mint You like chocolate mint ice cream, that Charlie? Yeah,
Yeah.
chocolate mint ice cream. You can't go if you have chocolate mint ice cream is available. Get it because it's really good.
You had kind of answered your favorite anime. I didn't. Do you?
I don't
what
know
do you
if I
think is
have a favorite
mine?
anime. I said a waifu.
Oh, a waifu. Okay.
Your
What do you
waifu is
think is mine?
Haruka. Who else would be your waifu?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there could be others.
I have a
Your
few,
favorite anime?
and it's so funny.
That's had.
Because I make jokes all the time about my waifus because they're all like very masculine. And so I was like, your waifus. And then it's like all the girly, like cutesy anime characters, like my waifus. Haruka, Seiya, Vi. And I'm like, we are not the same.
Yeah, and there's other ones too. Your favorite anime? There's just a lot of anime.
Yeah, also Winter Prison.
A Winter Prison for Magical
Girl
Raising Project. Oh my gosh, that anime is such a wild one.
What's her name from? It starts with an A. From Strawberry Panic.
Akane?
Amane.
Yeah. She doesn't say Boku though.
She doesn't say Boku. I like it when a tomboy
you need a shirt.
female character says Boku. I'm like,
yeah.
When Haruka said it, I was like,
yeah. That. Your favorite anime though, honestly, I don't know. Like you like a lot of different anime as well.
Obviously I like Sailor Moon.
But is that your number one favorite? Even I can't answer like my favorite anime.
We'll give it some thought, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it.
Okay, so yeah, she said chocolate mint for me.
Okay.
Have you guys finished Before the Storm? I'm super behind watching those.
Yes.
We just finished.
We just finished
in our very last from last week.
Yeah, we still have a couple more videos we want to make because we want to see some other things. But and also we got to do the bonus chapter.
Yeah,
we did finish it.
Mm-hmm.
That game has scarred me so much.
Oh,
it's just so.
Yeah, she's a huge fan of Rachel Amber, so kind of knowing. How
yeah, dude, I am just not happy.
They just twist that knife, don't they?
But yeah, we did finish it last week, and then we'll have more of that coming out, like I said. But yeah, they just really twist that knife. I'm just like, are you for real right now?
Yeah.
Did you just do that to me? Yes, you did. I'm gonna go cry about it and have some chocolate. It's just so sad.
Aww. Okay, and then Otaku Girl just said you guys should watch My Next Life as a Villainess. It's super hilarious and has some cute Yuri moments, kinda. It's hard to explain. Okay.
I've heard of that. I think that has 2 seasons right now. So I've definitely heard of it. I'm definitely interested to see what that's all about. It especially has like some eeriness to it. I'm down for that.
Yeah. And then said you guys know who my waifus are. It's why I asked. Yes, we did watch your video on that.
Oh, your favorite. Oh wow.
You
know your favorite anime.
One.
Dang.
Yeah, there you go.
There's just too many anime I like to think about that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so sweet. And I hope both of you are feeling good when you both record this. It's been a joy watching both of you recently, and I'm excited to experience Celebrating Cosmos with you. Yes, I cannot wait for Cosmos.
Super excited.
All right, let's see here. Parway asks, for how long have you guys been together? And when did you first meet? Love you so much. Hope you answer.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So sweet. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna let you answer that because she's better at dates than me. Like in time, like people ask me how long, and I always ask her.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Naruto, your husband is. That's cool, Charlie.
Oh.
That's a really.
I like Naruto.
Yeah, you do.
And like the truth is, I didn't watch all of it. I started watching it in high school. And so now when I like rewatch it, though, it's very nostalgic. I like a lot the song, the first ending song that they had. It's just like. I've been listening to remixes of it. It's very nostalgic.
It is very
nostalgic. Even though I didn't watch the whole thing in high school, I mean, it's a long show.
Yeah.
And I did, like, in high school, try to read the manga and, like, got so confused. Sometimes I still get confused. I was reading a manga you lent me because I was on a trip this past weekend and I was on the airplane. I was reading a manga she lent me and I'm like, who said that? Who did that? Like, I think it's a lot because they'll put like the speech bubble, but there's like multiple people around, and I'm like, one of them said this, and I don't know which one it was.
Right.
And with action stuff like Naruto, to me, it's like confusing when they're fighting. I'm like, okay, when did that person's kick fly through the air over there? When did that punch out? Like it gets very confusing for me trying to read manga like that. So I did. That's when I started watching. Naruto, and I used to call her because when a few years ago you had like blonde platinum, like it wasn't platinum, it was like bright blonde hair.
Yeah, it was bright blonde.
And I used to call you Naruto, and you would say,
"Believe it." So yeah, we actually met on a dating app, POF, and it was funny because I didn't really do a lot of the dating things. I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, here, let me set you profile up on this app, and she did. And a lot of people were just like, let's just meet, like an option just meet. No, like, hello, get to know you, let's just meet. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
There was like a setting in the app, like XYZ wants to meet you. Like Melinda wants to meet you.
Yeah, it was just like a random.
Blah, blah,
That's
blah,
all it
wants to
was.
meet
That was
you.
all it was. So one day I was
Yeah.
looking at my phone notification and it was actually like, wait, is this actual like person saying hi? Like what is this, right?
Yeah.
So I opened up the app and then we started having a conversation and she's so smooth. Like we were talking for like pretty consistently on the app and then she's like, oh, we both do art and stuff. Let's exchange numbers so we can share artwork. And I was like, okay, cool.
And my friend, that's how I got her number.
Yeah, my friend's like, you know, that's how she got your number. I'm like, oh, that's smooth. You know? So that was in 2015.
Yeah.
And it's now 2023. So we've been together since then, and we'll be married in 40 years on January 4th. Of
40 years?
No, 4.
40?
It
sound like 40.
No!
I'm like, I'm not that old.
Neither am I. Yeah, January 4th will be our 4th year of marriage in 2024. And so and our anniversary, actually, our relationship anniversary is coming up at the end of this month. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's so interesting though, right? Because initially I was just like looking for more girls that were friends. Because I have a lot of guy friends. I'm like, I need more women friends, right?
On a dating app? Yeah.
It was not just a dating app. I was told
app.
It was also an app to make friends.
You were lied to.
I was lied to.
You were like, it's a dating app, babe. Yeah, I messaged her because I was watching Buffy at the time, and she had the hairstyle just like Spike from Buffy, and I was like,
one picture.
She had only one picture. I had a bunch of pictures, and I was like, her hair is like Spike from Buffy. I'm gonna message her. Like that's the whole reason.
Yep.
So you can thank that hairstyle.
Yeah, I could thank that hairstyle.
And then by the time we met in person, you had, and maybe even by the time we started talking, because you sent me pictures.
Oh yeah,
she had like a red mohawk.
Yeah, I had blonde
had, like,
on the sides and a red mohawk.
Yeah, but she had a red mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and used to wear like a nerdana.
Yeah, I called it a nerdana. It was something I had created. I had drawn like different Zelda stones and stuff like that from games, and I was like wearing it around like my forehead.
Yeah,
and she like sent me a picture, and I had like little headphones on too.
Oh my gosh! And she was streaming then. You were an online streamer.
Yeah,
at
had
the time.
more time.
You were gaming.
Yes, I was gaming. And my friend's like, who are you talking to, viewers? What are you doing? I'm like, talking to a cute girl.
Yeah. So that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any more questions? We got the question from Godzilla about Warrior Nun, which we did insert in a whole separate video. If we had seen that they were going to be making more.
No, that's all I see right now.
So that's all that's on there. We had another question about a different series that was like a show.
Oh yeah, let me grab that real quickly.
And we looked into that. I think it's a little out of our realm, a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll add it to the list of stuff
we can add
to
to the list, but let me grab that
to look into. But I think like it's a little bit out of our realm.
We have a lot of things we want to do, so there's like only so many hours in the day.
We're honestly like always trying to make less content, and there's so much we want to talk about and watch and check out with you all.
Okay. Okay, yeah. This was from
Firebringer.
Yeah, the Team Stackhead musical called Firebringer.
It sounds cool. We already have a lot to cover,
but we'll definitely
look into it. But to look into.
Yeah, it was from Chris Smith 800. Yeah. We'll look in adding it to the.
We're always into like checking out what's other stuff.
Yeah.
That's like generally sapphic.
Let's
4
see.
years, that's so great.
Aww.
Next May will be 8 for us.
Wow,
Congratulations.
Don't judge, but we are up to date.
But are we up to date with watching? But we are up to date with watching One Piece. You guys seen any?
So I
interesting story. So actually, we just started. Well, One Piece the anime, or One Piece the Netflix.
Oh yeah, I haven't. The anime, I had to watch it on and off years ago, but I just never kept up with it because other things. The live action Netflix, we did start watching it together.
We started watching, and this is an example of what we were talking about. She binges more than me. Because she was like, I think this might be something that you would like, and so we started watching it together.
Yeah.
And then we went to Dragon Con, which we wanted to talk a little about our time at Dragon Con too. On this video. Anyway, we went to Dragon Con, and our other friends that we went with was like, hey, let's go out dancing. And you were kind of tired, and we were watching.
I have my moon.
Yeah, she was on her moon. And we were watching One Piece,
Like
the
4
Netflix
episodes
show.
in.
And I was like, yeah, I want to go out dancing. Dragon Con, for those of you who haven't been, it's like quite a late night con.
It's like a 24-hour con, basically, for like
Kind
4
of.
days, 5 days, something like that.
Is it 24? It at least goes late.
You find,
late night
according to the Reddit,
shows.
you can find anything no matter what during Dragon Con. So there were people
Yeah.
that were clubbing and would just go to sleep for like 20 minutes and wake up for the next day.
So yeah, it's a very big con. I believe it's the biggest con on the East Coast.
It is.
Even. And so they have a lot of big names. Some of the panels I've seen there were like True Blood panel, back when True Blood was really cool. I went with my friend who had never been to a con like that with me before, and I started fangirl screaming like, ah! And she's like, I didn't know you did that. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, I do.
You fangirl scream.
So there were, and I saw the actor who played Lafayette. He's since passed. Not only did I see him on stage, I was in the elevator with him. And I like did a double take and clearly like recognized him, but didn't want to be that person, go up and talk to him. I saw Lost Girl, the actress from Lost Girl, right around when that show was about to end. And I cosplayed Bo. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
But I did see the actors from that. So been able to see some really cool stuff and people and some really great friends from Dragon Con. But Dragon Con is a late night con. It's kind of like parties at night.
Yeah.
It does have parties.
Yeah, you have the con stuff, and on the con stuff eventually I think it closes at like, and then you have the after dark con or whatever, after hour Dragon Con, and then you get like parties outside of that. It's just it's a whole situation.
So my friend wanted to go out dancing.
Yeah.
So I went out dancing with her, and you stayed in resting, and you watched the rest of it.
They were gone that long,
and
right?
I haven't seen the rest of it yet. I have not watched a One Piece anime. It seems like something that I would like. I like pirates and I like anime.
Yeah.
So it seems like something I would like. But I also am a lot more involved in shoujo and interested in shoujo than shonen. So that being the case, I don't know that I would dedicate enough time to watching the whole anime.
Right. Yeah. Let's see.
Don't talk to me about the live action One Piece.
Oh, okay.
Dragon Con sounds like a stakeout for otaku. It was really fun, and like we found, we have local friends, and I was looking for something that they would like. They're anime fans, and I was able to find like a keychain from the anime that their daughter likes to get them something from the con. I got also a pin that says "Steal Your Girl."
Oh my gosh!
And it has,
dude,
it's Sailor Uranus theme. Oh,
there's a pin story. We were hanging out in the dealer's room. Is huge. It's got 4 floors.
Yeah.
And essentially, and we actually got to get in there when the line wasn't that big. Sometimes the line's like wrapped around the building.
But for those of you who go to other conventions, usually it's like a hotel.
Yeah.
Or this one is at least 4 host hotels.
Yep.
At least, and then it also
a market.
America's Smart Market is the convention center that takes 4 floors. That is where the vending room is.
Yes,
the vending room is the convention center.
Yeah.
So when you're at the con, you're looking to go to the panel you want to go to. You might be going to a different hotel than the one you're staying in. And so you have to check the hotel. You have to go find the line, which might be like wrapped out around the building. It is a huge, but I'm going to tell you the coolest thing is walking through the streets of Atlanta and being like, oh, there's Naruto. Oh, there's Hinata. Oh, there's and feeling like they're just a part of your everyday life, like a part of the city. There's Tanjiro walking past. Like, it's so cool to be like out in the city walking around and just see like anime characters and sci-fi characters. It's not just an anime con. It's like anything nudie-con.
Anything.
And before I was dating her, she doesn't mind hearing about my exes. I was dating this girl who was really into astronomy. And there was a whole like astronomy track at Dragon Con. She's like, oh, well, I really like astronomy. Like she had like a shelf of like the Hubble telescope and everything, like really into astronomy. And I was like, I didn't know. Like any kind of nerd that you are, like there's probably something for you at Dragon Con. Yeah.
Oh, yes, Charlie. So I've only seen an entirety of 2 Caitlyn cosplays ever since Arcane came out. We saw one at a little convention near us.
Yeah,
which
it was in our
the craziest
town.
thing
like,
ever.
Our town barely has anything in it.
We have some stuff, okay?
It has a lot of
But
houses
anyway,
and a few restaurants.
Okay, I know. But anyway,
and it has a tiny con.
A tiny con, and this was like very small, and it was their first year of doing this con, and it was Caitlin in her enforcer uniform, but it was like handmade. It looked amazing, and I was like in shock. I probably scared the poor girl.
Yeah, I was
Caitlin! Like, it's Caitlin!
And then Caitlin looked over like,
every time I'd walk, because it was a very small convention, every time she's like kind of like over her shoulder.
I was like, do you want a picture with her? She's like, no, I feel bad because I already scared her.
I scared her. But then finally at Dragon Con, I think it was our second day there, outside we saw, well, it was actually a group of them, but there was a Caitlin amongst them. It's the second time I've seen a Caitlin cosplay. I've seen Vi cosplay, seen Jinx cosplay, seen Echo cosplay.
Yeah.
Second time I've seen Caitlin, and I'm just like, why is? But it was great because I was like, oh, finally a Caitlin cosplay.
Yeah,
I got a picture of her because I didn't scare her off, but I scared the first one. She got away.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh yeah, but anyway, the pin story. So yeah, we're in the dealer's room, and Jenny recently got Etha bag, and so she's looking for pins for it. And there was this stall, and they had.
I got a Sailor Moon Etha bag.
Yeah,
right.
It's a mini one. So there's a bunch of different pins, and of course, this girl has like a bunch of Sailor Moon pins. She's got all the different ones, and then she's got the Uranus's sword pin, and then she's got some other ones. So Jenny knocked it. I think the 4 different pins that she wanted.
I was kind of like reading what they said, and the Uranus one said "Steal girl."
Yeah, but anyway,
like, that's okay. They're all kind of
yeah, they're all kind of clever, cute. Like
things.
she wanted them all basically. So then she's like, "Let me think about this." So we walk her down.
We walked 2 aisles. I was like, "Give me 2 aisles worth."
And then we found the thing for our friend's kiddo.
I only wanted to buy one
pin.
Yeah.
And then we come back, and she finally makes her decision, and she buys the Uranus one that says "Steal your girl." Well, the girl that actually was running it, she was like, "Oh, I remember you."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it took me." First, she says to me, "Good choice."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, it took me a while to decide. Like, there's so many cute ones." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I saw you standing over there earlier." And I started blushing.
She
and
checked you out.
I was like, "Babes, was she like?"
Yes.
And she's like, "Yes."
Yes. It was great. Yes. Let's see a second.
She said, I didn't see any this year, and I went as Vi. I know that honestly, the Arcane cosplay, it seems like less than it was when it first came out. So we're hoping that with season 2, the hype will reinvigorate.
Yeah. We saw.
I have a waifu collection story, though, picture story. Only 2 since the show was released. Poor girl, so underrated. Agreed,
I mean,
so
for us, like, it was really surprising though that when Arcane had come out and we went to, it was MegaCon, and we saw like a bunch of Vi's, a bunch of Jinxes, and no Caitlins, and I'm like, why is there no Caitlin?
Yeah.
Where's Caitlin? Where's my Caitlin?
Yeah.
And I was like on the hunt, like trying everywhere, and there was like even Arcane like events and stuff, and I'm just like, it's just no Caitlin. And so that's why when we finally found Caitlin at the con near where we live, I was like,
you were like, wait, what? Wow. Yeah, it was amazing.
Scared her. Maybe the first time cosplaying.
Yeah, maybe. Because I definitely I cosplayed Arwen from Lord of the Rings. I remember I was walking down the street, someone's like, Arwen! And I was like, oh, that's me. So I think it's fun to get called. And also, we'll have to put up the video because we took a video of when we were in line to get our badges, and the lady that was directing us, she was like, right this way, Usagi. And I was like, oh, and she's like, she recognized you. And I was like, you said you recognized me. And she goes, the lady directing people in line, she goes, yes, your disguise won't work on me, or something like that. It was really fun.
Yeah, Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
she knew you were Sailor Moon.
And actually, we cosplayed Seiya and Usagi we did specific outfits that they wear
from the trailer.
In the trailer. And we've done a reaction to that trailer. So we picked that specifically. And we even went to a big Sailor Moon photo shoot with a bunch of people there at Dragon Con. And only one person recognized you and me together.
But it was like the best reaction
and
ever.
we were walking down the street, and I don't remember what she said. I think I got a video of me saying what it was, but she was like, great cosplay.
Yeah, she was real excited.
She was so excited, and I was like, she knows. And it's only people who watch these trailers of Cosmos coming out as obsessively as us are going to know our cosplay.
Yeah.
We definitely want to do a Caitlin and Vi cosplay. We wanted to since we watched it. I think it's hard because, like, of course, like, I have my degree in apparel design. I can like sew circles. Like, I am very good at making cosplay, like the garment side of it. Not as much props. Props are more challenging for me. But time crunch is real. Like, we have a lot to do in our lives. And so I'm thinking about, in the meantime, like, us like maybe buying cosplay, and then down the road, like, making pieces so that we could cosplay them sooner. But really definitely want to cosplay Caitlin and Vi real badly. Yeah. Anyway, waifu story. So that day when I was cosplaying Usagi, I decided. Also, they must have been doing an Arcane photo shoot.
They were. That's why we
Sailor
saw
Moon
the
one.
bunch of. Yeah, they were. That's why we saw the Jinxes and the Vi's and the Echoes and the one Caitlin.
So I saw a couple different Vi's, and I'm like, I need to get a picture with waifu Vi. And I chased her down. It wasn't the original one I was looking for either. I found another one.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I get a picture with you? And she was like, yeah, of course. And so we got a picture. She's like, I have my Jinx around here somewhere. And I didn't tell her this, but I was like, it's not what you think. Like, it's you I want a picture with. But I am like a little bit shy in person, honestly.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to say that. And I was just like, I get starstruck, especially. With cosplays I really like. I'm like, fangirling.
And she calls you cute.
And then she called me. She goes, oh, you're so cute. And then I found Sailor Uranus and got a picture with her, and her Neptune happened to be standing next to her too. We're gonna have to post like maybe a slideshow with a bunch of pictures from the con or something. I'm always trying to figure out how to share our con experience.
Right.
Like, we've taken some shorts, so we have to still put those up yet. And we have pictures. Maybe we can make a slideshow with like some of the pictures and stuff from the con, so we could share that. But yeah, and then I got the picture with Uranus, and Uranus called me cute, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, oh, you're so cute. And I'm like, oh, it's amazing. So I got called cute by both of my waifus, and then I ran into my husbando.
Oh God.
share who it is.
It's Nightwing, Dick Grayson. Out of all the husbando she could have, it has to be that guy. Like, I can't stand him.
She can't stand him. But she'll be like, we were watching the show. What's the show that he's in that we watched?
Titans.
And I would be like, there he is. And then he would do something kind of stupid, and then she'd be like, look what your crush just did. So anyway.
But yeah, so she got a picture with him. I got a picture with him, excited.
And he didn't call me cute. And I was like,
he's like, of course you want a picture with me.
I'm like, I'm going back to the waifus. All right, so we got some comments. Didn't you guys cosplay as Chloe and Rachel not too long ago? Yes, we did.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's her ship for sure.
I love it. Yeah. I love it, and I want it to happen. And I'm just, your
and
game
since
hurts.
Then, we started the joke about we have Rachel at home. So you know how people will be like, I want a Spider Man, and they're like, we have Spider-Man at home, and it's like some kind of wonky like thing that's not Spider-Man. It's like a knockoff or something. Yeah. But we have kind of the opposite joke, right? Where she saw something and she's like, I want that of Rachel Amber, and she's like, we have Rachel Amber at home. And so we started doing that about stuff. Because I always, like, if I see Vi doing something, like, let's say, like, I see Vi, like, patting Caitlin's knee, I'll be like, I want Vi to pat my knee, and then now I'll be like, we have Vi at home. So it's kind of a running joke now. Yeah, like, I always do stuff, like, when Chloe was driving, I was like, I want to be Chloe's passenger, and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, we have Chloe at home.
Yeah, it's been fun.
The characters that we cosplay, we make those jokes together.
Oh yeah, Charlie, that would have been fun. You have Max outfit. That would have been so fun to have Max and then Chloe and then Rachel.
Let's see. Cosplay colors. Okay, yeah, could have. Oh, you had the Max out. Oh, that would have been so cute. Yeah.
Jenny Shy. I call
Bull a little mischief. Here's the thing. First of all, I'm introverted. So I like talking about things that I care about or I'm passionate about.
Yup, that's
It's
true.
like those things that are important to me, I can talk about a lot.
Mhm.
But like social niceties, like if someone wants to talk to me about like, so how's your day been? Like I suck at talking.
Yeah, she don't like that.
Stuff like that.
Don't ask her how the
Small talk.
weather is.
Yeah, I'm not so good at that. But we get on here and talk about what we're passionate about, and that I'm very good at talking about. But I also like get starstruck, right? So if I see someone dressed up as Vi, like I get starstruck, and I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, no, she does get shy. I remember there was
Yeah.
something at the convention or in the dealer's room that she wanted me to ask a question about, and I asked the question for her because, you know, that's what
Yeah.
extroverts are do.
yeah,
And yeah, she has those shy moments, and every time she's like, "That's so cute," and then she gets blushy, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's it's
Yeah.
really cute." But she does get shy. She does get starstruck, and I get amused by it too. She's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Well, do you want to go say hi?" And she's like, "I'm shy."
yeah.
But I'm shy though.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And like
Yeah.
when we're at the restaurant, like she'll ask for more sauce. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want more sauce,
Yeah.
but I don't want to ask for it.
yeah,
So like she out in the world like talks more, but between the two of them, like she likes shy girls, so she tries to be very respectful.
yeah,
And like I don't like being interrupted, so she
No.
tries not to interrupt me.
right.
She tries to like make a safe place for me to talk. Yeah, if people like cut me off, I get kind of upset. Because when I do say something, I feel like I'm saying it because it's important,
Mhm.
not just to run my mouth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
As extroverts, we definitely talk over each other.
Yeah. I have some family members who just keep going over each other, and I'm like,
extroverts.
yeah. Nightwing, have you guys watched Harley Quinn? No.
We haven't watched it. I think it has
Mm-mm.
4 seasons.
It looks interesting. And I like Harley Quinn as a character. Like what I've seen of her is very fun. I liked her portrayal in Suicide Squad, the first one. I liked how she was doing all kinds of like aerial acrobatics.
Yeah.
And then she and I used to do some aerial classes together.
We did.
And Lyra, where you're like in the
Yeah.
hanging down big hoop. And I used to like get into like poses on the Lyra and be like, Harley Quinn ain't got nothing on me.
Yep.
Like we had fun
Yep.
with the fact that Harley Quinn was doing those kind of aerial tricks and things. So the show I haven't watched yet. I think it would be fun down the road to watch like and do reactions to it for you all, because I do know that there's some stuff between her and Ivy.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like Ivy as a character. She's like into plants.
Yeah, of course.
JKs, I'm the same way. I'm autistic and usually shy in public, but talk to me about anime and I turn into a psycho. Nice. I've like wondered if I might be autistic. I'm not trying to get diagnosed, but most of my close friends who I can talk to for hours are 2 of my really close friends are autistic. And I talk to them for just like hours on end. So I think there's a lot of crossover between introversion and autism. And so that might be it. But yeah, fair. It's like when you're passionate about something, you know, it's very different to talk about it and discuss it.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. One last thing that I want to make sure, not that it's going to be the last thing ever we talk about, but we talked like, and it's been a long time since we last got on and did a live about how we met each other. We did talk about that. And then we said that on this live, we were going to talk about how we got engaged.
Oh, come on. No, don't do this to me.
Do you want me to tell the story? It's cute.
Okay. Does
it's
anyone really, when the comments, really want to hear about this? I mean,
Yes.
it's not really that. I want to see someone say yes.
I
want to hear.
well,
Besides you, if someone says yes in the comments, then we'll talk about it. But if no one does, we'll probably still
save it
talk.
for maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
But we said we were gonna do it this time.
I don't remember agreeing to that. I want to see if
Okay.
anyone's actually interested. Anyone want to hear about it? It's great. It's wonderful. It's gonna make a Lifetime movie out of it. No, a Hallmark movie out of it.
It could be a Hallmark movie. It's cute.
Yeah, it's real cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, we actually. Oh my. Of course.
Yes, I
before before we talk about that, though, we actually talk about going to a marriage and stuff like that as well, because
Still.
essentially, like, it's not like a Hallmark movie. Like, I've had friends of mine that have proposed to their person, and their person was like, yes or hell no. Or
Yeah.
it could be someone like you, just not you. And I'm just like, what's that? Okay. So I had.
So you're talking about like they'll propose to their partner.
It's not like a movie
and
all the time.
sometimes their partner doesn't.
Yeah, it's not always like a movies, or like they're having problems, and my friend's like, "Great idea, let me propose." No, don't do that. Don't.
I think
do
like
that.
it's a good idea to have marriage talk first.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We did.
She was very smart, and she also knows that I'm like a little bit more shy, and that I would want some preparation. For it. So you asked me.
Yeah. But I didn't do anything like super duper extravagant, because I had a lot of my friends, because we live in Florida.
I'm talking about the talk before.
Oh yeah.
So before she proposed, she casually brought up in conversation, what do you think about marriage?
Just curious.
And I told her that I think marriage, I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but if I were to get married, that it would be to someone like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then that gave me, and I'm like, okay, cool. So my friends and I are talking, like, you're gonna do Disney proposal, right? I'm like, no, bro, like that's not that kind of thing.
Yeah, we live like in Orlando area, so
and that's very common.
We know do
which is cool
like
if you're into that,
like in front of the Disney castle and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you go right in front of the castle. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm big extravagant. But I had a kind of feeling that when we talked about it.
I used to like see people doing that and be like, it's good and makes for them, and it makes them happy.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I feel like it's like for people who live around here, so typical and overdone that it just isn't.
Proposal at Universal.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, like, everyone has their different way of going about it.
Right.
And a proposal is between the two people, right?
Yeah.
And as I've seen really big proposals go great, and I've seen them go not so great. Mm-hmm. And when we talked about it, I'm like, well, she's not gonna want like something that's over the top, like, you know, attention, spotlight right on her, especially because she's so shy.
Yeah.
So anyway, but then not only that, we were kind of like, okay, what kind of ring are you like looking at? Because honestly, I'm not really a fan of, here, let me buy a ring and hope this works, you know, because it's such a big thing.
Yeah. I had shown her, like, and of course, like, this is so gay. Like, we were in a relationship for like maybe 4 months or so when I started sending her some rings I liked, and it wasn't like in a talk about marriage. I was just like, oh, look how pretty this ring is. Oh, look how pretty this ring is. And so we did have that like early on. I feel like that's such a lesbian thing.
Yeah.
To like start talking ahead. Like,
yeah, so I had remembered like one of them that she was really, really into.
Yeah.
So then I was kind of like, okay, well, we're gonna get the ring and everything like that. Yeah. I originally had wanted though to propose to where she had grown up in a town area, because it would like meant a lot to her. But at the time there were a lot of friends hanging out. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that here. There's too many people.
I grew up somewhere really wholesome. I don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
But she's like trying to be protective. Like, in a town. I just grew up in the town of Celebration.
Yeah.
Which I think some of you might find really interesting, because that was like the town created by Disney.
Yeah.
So we went there. I took her there once for her birthday.
They have a New England restaurant that everything on the menu is how you would say it up north if you have a Bostonian accent. So like chowder and hot dogs and burgers and everything like that.
Because the people who made that restaurant are from Boston.
But yeah, made sense, because the clam chowder was authentic.
So I took her there for her birthday. So you were thinking about proposing there?
I had been, because I was like, well, you like this place, it's kind of nice, you know, it's kind of quiet. And I was like, but then we had a bunch of our friends coming, and I'm like, you know what, no, because originally it was gonna be just two of us going, and then other people were going too. I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna be the right time for this. So I had waited.
Yeah.
And then a few months after that.
Yeah. And so we were like house sitting for my parents. They were out of town. And it's so funny because where my parents live is a really nice walking area. And all the time I'd be like, let's go for a walk, babe. Let's go for a walk. And she's like, no, I want to binge watch this show. No, I want to play this game. No. So she was always like, no, I don't want to go for a walk. I was like, let's go for a walk. So then this day, KB says to me, let's go for a walk. And already I was suspicious. I was like, why does she want to go for a walk?
Because I want an exercise, you know? Exercise!
And so we get out, we're walking around.
Oh,
and,
gosh.
I see, like, something big in her front pocket. It's a big bulk in her front
It
pocket.
wasn't that big. It was about like this big. Thank you. My hand was in
Okay.
my pocket. So my hand.
And both. The box was in her pocket. And she was walking around with her hand in her pocket.
I was nervous.
And I was like, it's so obvious. She's acting nervous. Hand in her pocket. And I'm like, this girl's about to pop the question. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. She's about to pop the question.
Oh,
And,
gosh.
so we're walking around, and I'm like, when's she gonna do it? She's acting real nervous. And I'm like, oh, okay, so did you want to go home now? Like, she's like, no.
No.
And I'm like trying to like get the process going on. Like, did you want to go? No. And she doesn't give a reason. No,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
want to go home. So she takes me over to this really beautiful area where it's a garden, and it has a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's surrounded by like flower pots and things like that. It's a really cute with like a pathway around it. She takes me over to this really pretty fountain, and like I'm standing in front of it. She gets down on one knee. She opens the box and she says, Will you marry me? And I nodded and said yes. I did not have that like moment because I knew it was coming.
You knew. I'm not sneaky. I'm sneaky in video
But
games.
I kind of appreciate that because I feel like if it had been a surprise, me being like a kind of more shy introverted person, it might have like kind of been a little bit overwhelming for me.
Mhm.
So the fact that I knew it was coming kind of like opened me up and prepared me for it. And yes, I said yes. And then we had a 2-year engagement.
Yeah. We wanted to
yeah.
take time and enjoy the engagement process. I've had a lot of
We
friends.
wanted to like take the first year to figure out kind of
Yeah.
what we wanted for our wedding,
Mhm.
and then the second year to actually plan it.
Yeah. Because I wanted to enjoy it. Because I've heard people that are just like, it's so stressful. It's so blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, we don't enjoy it. What'd you gasp about?
She said that her hubby, she was in cosplay when he proposed. Love it.
Oh,
I just like
awesome.
I didn't read the comment before that, but I like glanced and saw that, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh yeah. What was I saying?
Oh, you're usually good at remembering.
Yeah, I usually am good at remembering what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, because I've had a lot of friends that get really stressed out. Like my sister
Yeah.
even got really stressed out towards when she
Mhm.
was gonna get married, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's the worst process ever." I'm like, why? Shouldn't it
Yeah.
be an enjoyable time between the two of
Yeah.
you to do
Mhm.
everything together? And
Yeah.
well, aren't you gonna do this thing and she's gonna do that thing? I'm like, no, we're gonna do everything together.
Yeah, and we had decided that early on. We had seen other people like stressing out and having like breakdowns and things like leading up to their
The
weddings
napkins just turned
and
the right
freaking
color.
out. And so we decided early on we were going to set the tone for our wedding,
Mhm.
that it was going to be an enjoyable experience, and that we were going to be happy and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted a 2-year engagement, to take our time, plan everything together, and just let it all be enjoyable. And
Yeah, everything.
stressor.
Picking all the stuff out together.
it was
the
a
food
small
tasting.
wedding too.
Yeah.
And partially because I get overwhelmed. So there were more people I would have liked to have there, but the sizing of it, I was like, this is gonna have to be this size.
Yeah, and like in the nick of time too, because of course that was in 2020. So.
Yeah, we got married in early January of 2020. We went on our honeymoon, came back, moved into our new place, and then everything locked down. So we had a really interesting first year of our marriage.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. When I met my hubby, we found out both of us loved anime.
Aww.
And that's always been our common solid ground. Love that.
I love that.
It's so important to have that like
Oh, yeah.
passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So special. You know, not that you can't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't like the same things
Yeah,
as
of
you.
course.
I've definitely seen people like go out to conventions, have a great time, and have their like anime friends, and then come back to someone who's not into that but supports them doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think the support of the partner like loving something is very important.
Mhm.
But then it's even more special if you both engage
Yeah.
and love the same thing. I think she says, I think your accent rocks.
Yes.
Yay!
Woo!
This story is adorable. I'm having the time of my life listening to you guys. Love it. Thanks, girl. Grace said that's a cute, funny story. I feel like it's so overwhelming when you don't see it coming. Yeah, it can be. It can be. And I definitely know of people who said yes when they didn't want to because of social pressure.
Yeah, they've had literally like a figurative spotlight on them, and they're just like, well, I can't say no.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's very, I feel like it's always a good idea. I mean, we talk about everything.
Yeah, we do.
Like, when it's the two of us, we just like run our mouths. And I was telling my relatives, because with my relatives, it's like, I feel like we're a lot more honest with each other than most couples, but I think like in a loving way, right? Like, you can tell the other person what you have to say in a loving way.
Yeah, you can.
And we just are very, very honest with each other. And I think that also, like, to me, that showed a lot that you cared about me, and that you were like, let me bring you in on the discussion beforehand, get a feel for where your mind is at. And it shows like how collaborative you are, that you weren't like, let me project my feelings of what I want and my agenda onto you, but let it be like a collaboration of us together.
Well, yeah, it's like a huge thing. It's like important. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with people that are just wanting to surprise their person. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes it can work.
People love it.
Oh, I have a lot of friends that love it. They're just like, oh my god, it's wonderful. But I'm just like, no, I gotta talk about it, you know, because I like to tell my friends it's not like a Hallmark movie, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't always work that way.
It's real life.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I don't love Hallmark movies.
Sometimes, yeah.
Attack of Grudges said, I saw my proposal coming. We knew for ages we were gonna be married. He was pressured by everyone to hurry up and buy a dang ring. Oh, that's cute. Where was your honeymoon? So actually, we took a cruise, and being here in Central Florida area, there's a few places the cruises leave from. We went from Orlando. We got married outside in gardens. It was really actually indoor. It was supposed to be
outdoor, but it rained. But backup plan.
The place that we had our wedding at had like a backup plan that was really beautiful. And ended up working. We were supposed to get married in the rose garden. It was really beautiful with a fountain there too. But it had a rain plan. We made sure that was one of the things that we planned for, was we wanted a garden wedding, but one with a rain plan. So they had an indoor hallway. It was like a really beautiful hallway where the back was a window. The whole back was a full window that overlooked, I believe it was a lake.
Yes.
Is it a lake out there?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was just slightly raining. So it was indoor. And then afterwards, we were able to go out by the rose garden and get photos because it had stopped raining by then.
Yeah.
So it was really beautiful. That's where we got married, in Orlando. Then for the first night of our honeymoon, we stayed at a hotel in Orlando. It was a really beautiful hotel. And then we went to Tampa Bay. So the first night we stayed in Orlando. Then we drove to Tampa Bay and spent the second night there. It was funny. The show Batwoman was still on its first season with Ruby Rose. I'm a huge Ruby Rose fan.
That's a waifu.
That's another waifu. Batwoman, Ruby Rose's Batwoman is a waifu. And we watched Batwoman that night. We were on our honeymoon, and the show was on CW back then, and we watched it together.
Yeah, we did.
On our honeymoon. It was so fun. So we stayed in Tampa that night. Then we left from Tampa onto our cruise. It was a 5-night cruise.
Yes.
And it went from Tampa down, and this is really fun. We took the cruise down to the Keys, to Key West. And Key West is part of Florida. So we had our phones turned off because we were on the cruise. We didn't get the special plan where you can, international plan or whatever, that costs extra, because we like kind of shutting off our technology and just having some time away from technology for a little bit. So on our cruise, we turned off our phones, went down to Key West, and then opened our phones, because Key West in Florida, and called Mom. Hey, Mom, we're doing great. Hey, sis, we're doing great. And made our phone calls and checked in with everyone. So that was kind of fun to be like, wait, we're in Florida, like the same state that we live in. So that was our first stop. What other stops?
We went to Cozumel. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. They had this amazing drink, and it was like $4, and it was a chocolate pina colada.
Yeah.
I never want any other pina colada now. It was just this nice big cup of chocolate.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I want more.
Yeah.
I gotta read. I found actually a copycat recipe of that. And we bought some of the Cozumel chocolates. Oh my god, so
yeah,
good.
we did. We came back with like
We
5 chocolate bars.
Yeah, we went to like that chocolate tour factory. I don't know what it was. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a chocolate factory tour or something.
Yeah.
They don't actually like make or grow the cacao right there, but I think that they might make the chocolate there. I don't know.
But this pina colada was like the best thing ever, and
Pina colada with chocolate.
it was so good.
Delicious.
Just you can't. Someone's like, you want regular? Pff, no, no, I don't want that.
I like pina colada.
I do too, but now we just have chocolate. Okay.
Okay.
Forced chocolate.
So did we stop anywhere else? I'm trying to remember.
Well, we were supposed to stop somewhere else, but I think because of the weather, because it was kind of like stormy one day, so they had to go some other direction.
We stopped at their Royal Caribbean's island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. We did go there, didn't we?
No, I've never been there.
Oh, okay.
You've been there.
I've been there a few times.
Yeah. We were supposed to go somewhere else, but because we couldn't, we went to Cozumel, and then we just kind of...
The ship was like very...
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? I was like trying to walk and smack into the wall.
Y'all should have seen, and I was like on my moon time, my time of the month. If you don't know what moon time is, I was on my time of the month, so I was kind of like queasy, and the ship was rocking, and I would be like walking down the hallway and like push off of one side and push off of
I was just like slamming into walls. I was like, what's happening?
But it was really fun. We had a great time
we did.
together.
We really did. It was really fun. It was my first cruise too. I'd never been on a cruise before, so I was like, ooh, this is fun. And I'm like, where's the Rocky? Like 3 days later. I should never have asked that question.
Yeah. And we came back, everyone was like telling me, I came back to work and they're like, you're beaming. I was like, yeah. Like I got into such a like a glow state. Like, just the two of us for that length of time.
It was fun.
Like, yeah, it was really fun and special. Can I just say that I love that you and I are all cat moms?
Yes.
So my cat we found together. He's like our baby.
We did.
So it was on like her graduation day.
Yeah.
I came over here to celebrate with her. And the night before.
Yeah, okay. So the night before, I'm on the phone with her, and all of a sudden I hear like this little tiny meow, right? And she hears it too. And she's like, "That's my kitten! My kitten, go!" So I literally go outside and I'm
like, I call her and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because I could tell she was like up to something. And she's like, "Oh, I heard this meow. I'm looking for the cat." And so obviously she's over here. I was at my house at the time, and I was like, find that cat. It's mine. I just said it. I didn't even think about it.
Right. So I literally go outside in the dark with the
looking for this cat.
Where's the cat?
Can't find the cat.
Can't find the cat.
So I come the next day to celebrate her graduation with her. We're having a fun time. I'm congratulating her, everything over here at her place. And then I go out to my car to leave. And wedged, like, there's like my tire wedged like under my tire is this kitten the size of a taco. Okay, like I could hold him in my hand. He was the size of a taco. He's like,
yeah. So then she's like,
get I come run back and I found the kitten.
Yeah, because I go out there and I'm like, oh, okay. So very carefully I go by the cat. I slide my back to the back, and he tries to get away, but he's just so weak. So I pick him up, and he is like,
we like came around each side. Like I was one side, she was the other.
Yeah.
And she reached her arm around and she scooped I scooped him up.
And then as soon as I grabbed him, she just like this, like mine.
Yeah.
And so then we had to kind of figure out what we were gonna do with him, because at the time her parents weren't really like, one of her parents wasn't really keen on her having like a cat. So I was like, well, maybe the kid
first of all, we also first thought that the cat was a girl.
Oh, we thought because he was so little. He was like this big.
And
so
we couldn't tell.
He was, like,
we thought that he was we kind of just thought he was a girl.
We just thought he was.
Him Pixie.
Yeah, his name was Pixie.
And then I took him the next day.
So then after that, she took him back because she was like, no, I need to take him. Because I was like, well, I already have like a few cats here, so he could stay, or she could stay here, right? And she's like, no, I need to take no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So we get a little basket, and it has like a really nice, comfortable blanket, and just put the kitten in there. And then I'm like, okay, I'm like crossing my fingers, everything's gonna go well, because I'm like, I have no idea what'll happen.
Yeah.
So it turns out that her mom, who is the best person ever, swaddles the kitten like a baby, and then that was all it took.
That was all, yeah.
That was all it took.
I ended up keeping him, but we found him together. And the next morning, like I brought him home that night. The next morning we took him to the vet. The vet was like, this is a boy. And I was like, well, I want to name him something magical. So I ran a few ideas by my friends, and they like the name Rune. So that's how he got named Rune.
Yeah,
But then you have
he's huge.
3 other. Yeah,
We have a few
now.
other ones. So initially, I had just my cat Misty,
and I used to come over because I didn't have a cat. I would have like Misty on my shoulder.
Yeah. You'll sometimes see her peeking in, or she might be in here. But yeah, so we had Misty. And then we have Binky, who's the calico, who's been in some of the videos. And then we have Rune. And the only one you haven't seen is I had a friend of mine at work, and she was going through some really tough health issues. And for some reason, like when she was driving, I think she said someone had threw out this kitten out the window in the storm, and it's not great. So she's like, well, can you just, foster the kitten for me? And then when I'm starting to recover from my health stuff, I can take the kitten back.
And I told her, I was like, you're not giving that.
She had kids, by the way, too. But when I went to go,
she was gonna get a cat, and I was like,
but when I went to go pick up the kitten, the two of them were pulling her like this, and I was like, she's not a rope you tug a war with, that's not cool.
Yeah.
So she's very sweet, but out of all of the cats we have, she's the most reserved. She's shy, right? And sometimes you can pick her up, and she's held her for hours, like an hour.
Yeah, like she'll if I walk up to her, she'll run and hide. But if I lift her and put her on my chest, then she'll like knead on my chest and purr and rub. She's very affectionate. She's just like
she's very sweet.
Afraid of people walking toward her.
Yeah, she's very sweet, and she's very small. She's still this big. She's
little.
got like and I got her too. I was like, oh, I thought I had to get her tail set because her tail was kind of like bent.
It's like bent
like this,
forever, like this.
But it turns
it's
out
like a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, but it turns out she was born that way.
That's 45.
Something like that. It's some kind of an angle.
Yeah.
But it turns out that that's how she was born, and so they're like, oh no, we can't set the tail because there's nothing wrong with it. That's just how she was born. It's like, okay, right. So so she's really sweet, and she's actually stepped her paw out here a few times that the door's been open, but then as soon as she notices, she like runs back out.
Yeah,
but she's very, very sweet, but yeah, and Rune and her get along really well. And
Rune is 7. She's asking how long we've had them. Rune is 7.
Gosh, I think. Let me see.
No,
Rune's 8.
8. Okay, now Rune's 8.
But Rune's 8.
You've had Misty the longest.
Misty is about 12.
Yeah, Misty is super sweet. She's a Russian blue, and I call her the fave. She's my favorite because she's very affectionate. She comes up. I mean, obviously I love Rune. He's my baby boy, but Misty is the most openly affectionate and very sweet cat.
Yeah, Binky.
And so you had her first.
Yeah, I had her. So I had a dog. I finally got a dog. I always had wanted a dog. When we moved down to Florida, I got a dog, and she's a Shiba Inu. Her name is Cora, and if you know where Cora's from, you get a cookie. And so, but I had my cat. I had a cat coming down, but unfortunately, he didn't do so well with the move, and he was old, and he wasn't feeling so great. He was named Valentino because why not? Yeah. So I had to unfortunately give him up.
Yeah.
Then it was about a year later. I was somewhere, and they were having an adoption event for cats, and I was like, okay, I'll just take a look. Whatever. That's a bad idea. And Misty took her paw out, and she reached out, and she grabbed onto my arm, and I was like. Yeah. So I had asked, I'm like,
she's like that.
Yeah, she's very affectionate. So I asked, I'm like, well, is she still up for adoption or someone take her? Oh no, she's still available. I want this cat. So I start filling out the adoption information, and people are like, oh, is she for adoption? I'm like, and then woman's like, no, she's already spoken for. I'm like, yeah, that's right, that's my cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's very, very sweet. It was funny though, because Cora was still kind of puppyish, and she knew what a cat was because I had Valentino.
Yeah.
When Misty came in, she was like, "What is this?" And Misty would chase Cora around, and Cora's like, "What the hell is this?" but it was kind of karma because Cora would chase Valentino around. He did not like that. He was like, "What even is this?" So Misty, I've had the longest, and then about a year after Rune, Binky, who is the calico that you'll sometimes see, and she's sweet too when she wants to be, and she's very affectionate too when she wants to be. Like you're like, you're such a little punk, but then she like comes up to you and she nestles on you, and then she purrs, and you know that because she does to you too.
Yeah,
and she'll like knead on you and everything. So she has her moments when she's really sweet too, but she's very territorial. Very territorial.
Yeah.
But Misty will sometimes put her in her place. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, she will. She mothers them. Let's see. How have you guys been outside of the US?
You have.
I have.
Technically on the cruise, right?
We went on the cruise to Mexico, and actually that was my first time going to Mexico.
Oh.
I've been twice to Israel. I was raised Jewish, so I've been twice. I went and I was bat mitzvahed in Israel. No, there's a lot going on in Israel right now. But yes, I've been there twice. I went first with my family, and I was bat mitzvah there. And then I went on the birthright trip to Israel. And I've been twice to Spain. Clearly, I like to go back to places where I've been to before. I went to Spain in high school, and it was part of like the Spanish club. And then I spent a semester studying abroad in Spain in college in Valencia. Without an accent, it's like Valencia. In southern Spain. It's like you can take a ferry down to Morocco is where that's at. And while I was there, I took like some weekend trips. I went to Dublin, which I freaking love. I want to go back to Dublin. You would love it.
Yeah.
I
have a passport now.
You have a passport now. Yeah. Honestly, like when I was in Dublin, people there were so friendly and like smiley and just very nice. Like people in Valencia in Spain are like a lot more just like focused. Like when you're walking down the street, it's kind of more like, I don't know if it's like that in Boston. I've never been to Boston where she's from, but like kind of like in New York where you don't smile at people as you pass them by. Whereas in Dublin, everyone smiles.
I think it kind of depends in Boston where you go, because there's definitely like, because you went to New York, obviously.
Yeah.
There's like that rush. People like kind of whatever want to get to places.
Yeah.
If you go towards more of the park area where there's like the swan boats and everything, there's more like friendly people. But the city rush of people trying to get to jobs or wherever they're trying to.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like in the mornings when we go for walks. Like I grew up in the town of Celebration, which is very much like a suburban-esque town, where people, when you walk past them, you smile at them and greet them. And you like, so in the morning, she's like, you're such a morning person, because I like say hi to people as I pass them by, and she doesn't really as much.
I'm still waking up, okay?
She's like, I'm still waking up. And for me, like, I feel like it's polite. It's more, we just grew up in different places where you do things differently.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's polite to smile at someone and say good morning and things as you're walking past them. So yes. So in Valencia, people don't do that as much. They're like in a rush to get where they're going. I loved it there, but I also really enjoyed the time I spent in. It was just a weekend in Dublin. Took the, what's it called? Like the double-decker red trolley around.
That was
really fun.
That's cool.
In Dublin.
That's really cool.
For a weekend. And then I traveled when I was in Spain. We had like a winter break week, just like you have spring break. Like over there, we had winter break, a week off to travel. And a friend and I traveled through southern Spain. Would love to go back and go through northern Spain. Really loved it. And then my mom came at the end of my semester there to help me put my stuff together to pack up to come back to the US. And we took a weekend to Amsterdam. So we went together to Amsterdam. We went to some museums there, took a ferry around. It was really beautiful.
That is really cool.
And it was like in the holiday time. Amsterdam looks like a Christmas card. Really beautiful. So it was nice. And it was like, we went into the mall and they had a huge Christmas tree there. And really, it was really beautiful.
Taco.
So those
Taco Nico, yeah.
Those are all the places I've been. I saw the Canada border. I have a friend from Michigan, and I wanted to visit her. And there were like all these people patrolling the Michigan-Canada border. So I've seen Canada, but I didn't think to bring my passport. If I had brought it, I could have crossed over into Canada, and then I could say I had been to Canada.
Oh man!
So I haven't been there, but I've seen it.
I was on a train, and it was kind of sort of near Canada. And I remember I told you the story. I was actually traveling from Missouri, and I got woken up. Well, I guess they tried to wake me up because they were trying to make sure we were citizens or whatever. I don't know why, but apparently, like, my friend was sitting next to me, and I mouthed off and half asleep because I was like, flashlight in my face. And I'm like, what the? And the guy was like, oh, are you a citizen? And I'm like, what the hell do you think? Like, I'm like, well, what was, I give him, and I'm like, would you like me to take my flashlight and flash it in your eyes? You know? And yeah, and I gave him a bit of attitude because he just he just flashed a flashlight in my face. Like, come on, dude, like, that's incredibly rude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was close to the border apparently, but obviously at the time I didn't have a passport, so I couldn't go either. But it was kind of like, how did I even get over here? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to like get back to, because I went from Missouri to Boston, but for some reason they just were really close to Canada.
Yeah.
But I thought that was the rudest thing ever, and I'm just like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, homie, like, you do you.
Right. So I did, and I wanted to mention, Charlie, that when I was living in Spain, studying abroad, I met someone from Australia. Of course, there are a lot of Australians that backpack through Europe, and I met someone who was backpacking through when I was staying at a hostel there, and we still keep in touch. He's from Perth, so he and I still keep in touch. Would love to come out to Australia sometime. It's a long flight.
Let's see. So
have you traveled outside of Australia, Charlie? Let's see.
Oh, Charlie says I would love to go to Aussie.
6 in July. Rayla will be 5 in November.
Wow.
I remember you had mentioned a cat named Rayla.
Taco Nico! Need that on a shirt.
And then Legend of Korra.
Yes, that is exactly where Korra's name is from. I love that. It's such a good show.
Yeah, amazing thing about cats is they're usually the ones that choose their owners. You're so true. You're so right.
They choose you. What can you do? You have to accept.
It'd be the coolest thing if you guys came over to Austin.
Yeah, I would love to.
Love to. That would be really
That would be fun.
Yeah. We kind of talked about and we're gonna have to put something together, doing panels at anime conventions, especially because we don't see people doing like Yuri or Girl Love.
Not very often.
Shoujo
I think the last time I saw something was Anime Boston, and that was before I moved here. That was
ago?
a long time ago.
What year do you think, if you had to guess?
I came down here in 2011. I would say maybe 2009. Maybe.
Yeah. So we don't.
Could have been 2010, but there's not. And it was such a really interesting panel because I had gone with a few friends of mine, and this like one friend, new friend, she was actually really clingy, close type of one, and she's like, "Let's go to the Yuri panel together." I'm like, "Okay, cute girl, Yuri panel, I'm in." So we go, and
how do you say no to that?
How do you say no to that? Like, cute girl, Yuri panel, I'm in.
Yeah.
And so we go to it, and there was 2 girls there, and they were just talking about like how important Yuri has in the community and how it needs to be like more shown, because it really at the time, especially in 2009, 2010, there wasn't a lot. We had a couple of things, like we had Strawberry Panic, we had Kanazuki no Miko. We didn't have like a lot though, because it's just not still in this day and age. We have more now, but it's still not as much as Boy Love. Just gonna throw that out there. Yeah, we still have more. I'll never forget though when I went to Anime Boston years prior to that, and one of my friends was like, "Look at this doujinshi I bought," and it was a yaoi one from Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, and I'm like, I'm good. And she like puts it on my face. I'm like, no, I don't want this on my face.
Right.
But there was an entire like area just for yaoi, and I'm like, where's the entire area for Yuri? Like, where is that? You know? And I have a few friends of mine that have actually lived and gone to Japan, and when they went over there too, they had said that they're just not, they have Yuri stuff, but it's just not as big even over there. It's just more yaoi. So I'm just like, dang it.
Yeah,
there's a need for the Yuri, okay?
Yeah, so we've definitely talked about doing something like that, and that would be cool. I think that would be open up more doors for traveling. We already obviously like to travel. Like we traveled to Atlanta to go to Dragon Con. That's about 6 hours away.
Yeah.
That we drove up, and we drive down to Orlando to go to stuff.
Yeah.
We live kind of close to, I know a lot of people know Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
We live kind of near there. What time is it there?
It is 11:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I have flown to the States before. I know how long that of a flight it is.
I imagine it's very long.
Yeah, it seems like it would be for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know what was cool though? Speaking about being into Final Fantasy, they had something, because we live in Orlando area, at Disney Springs.
Well, that was actually Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, it was Kingdom Hearts.
But except for 3, Final Fantasy characters had been in the Kingdom Hearts games, and sadly for whatever reason in 3 they didn't do that.
That's why I mentioned
it. But yeah, Final
Kingdom
Fantasy, I actually played it in reverse. I played 9, 8, and 7, and I remember getting 8 at KB Toys on discount. I had like an ear infection, which was not super great, but I loved, out of those 3, I really like 9 the best. I really hope for 9 to get a solid remake because it's so great. And I remember when Final Fantasy X came out and there was voice acting, because at this point there hadn't been voice acting in games, and I was like, wait a second, voice characters? I think Legend of Dragoon had some voice acting too, but it wasn't as well known at the time. But Final Fantasy X came out, and it was just like so great. So I've played 10, I played 11, Final Fantasy 11 I played for a very long time. That's the online version of Final Fantasy where you can like make friends, and I've got so many stories for that. And then I played 12, and then 13. I know not a lot of people like 13's trilogy, but I really like Final Fantasy 13. I thought it was really well done. It was much more about characters, and except for like people are like, it's so linear, and I'm like, just play the game, whatever, or just whatever. I remember getting into a debate with this guy, and I don't like to usually debate, but if it's something I'm passionate about, I will debate it. and he was trying to talk about how terrible 13's story was. And I'm like, did we play the same game? He's like, well, there's not much exploration. And I'm like, so you're mad because you could explore a bunch, but once you get to a certain part in the game, you have like open world. You can explore as much as you want. You just have to get there. So that happened, and I still do like Lightning, the last one with Lightning Returns. There's a couple things I was kind of like, but it was still overall a really good game. And then I play Final Fantasy 14 on and off. That's a really fun, another online game of Final Fantasy. Or as she likes to call it, continuous fantasy. Because
I always joke because it's called Final Fantasy, but then like there are a bunch of them.
And there's a couple of them that have sequels.
Really, it's a continuous
like Final Fantasy 10, and there's 10 too.
Here, we got some more info. My waifu from the franchise is
I can see that. I can see that. I can
she
see
was
that.
My video game waifu for ages until I played Life is Strange.
I could see that. I can see Lightning being your type. She's awesome. Right? Why choose one? I think if Jenny had a waifu in Final Fantasy 13, I would say probably Fang.
Oh.
I'll have to show you Fang.
My gaming waifu is Tracer from Overwatch.
From Overwatch. And then
not that that's really a story-driven game. Go ahead, continue.
And then Final Fantasy 15, instead of playing I played the pocket version, which I thought was really fun. It was basically like a condensed version of 15 with like cute style characters.
Yeah.
And I haven't played 16. I've heard good things and not so good things. I mean, eventually I will play it, but they're going in a different direction. Like Final Fantasy used to be much more like a turn-based game, and then they started making it more like action instead. So instead of like taking your turn, you go and you go, it's like Kingdom Hearts, like when it's like more out in the open. But yeah, Overwatch, yeah, your wife. Do I have a waifu in Overwatch? Dang, I don't know. There's a lot of pretty girls in Overwatch. I'd have to think about that one. Yeah. But yeah, as soon as I showed her Tracer, she's like,
no, I knew Tracer.
No, as soon as you met, like you saw it, but when I asked you about your Overwatch waifu, you didn't take you a second. Like, Tracer.
Yeah. Because sometimes your hairstyle is like a little like Tracer. We have Tracer at home.
Cheers, love.
See, she does the accent and
that's
everything. Right. It's real cute. We were planning on sometime doing a cosplay of Tracer and her girlfriend Emily.
Yeah.
I got a red shirt. I need to kind of draw on to make it look more like her Christmas sweater, because I had the Christmas comic of Tracer and Emily.
Oh, wicked. You have figures, Charlie? Yeah.
I have figurines of Lightning, Fang, and I don't know how to pronounce Vanille.
Oh, Vanille. You know what? Vanille's really cute. I like Sarah a lot. That's Lightning's sister.
Oh, okay.
But I have to think about my my waifu in 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you saying something and then I interrupted because of the chat? You don't know.
Yeah, Overwatch. We're talking about like cosplaying as Emily and Tracer and that stuff like that too. Yeah, continuous fantasy. It's really funny.
Yeah.
You're like, continuous fantasy. I'm like, oh, Final Fantasy. I'm like, yeah, we'll just call it continuous fantasy.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is funny. Final Fantasy has just been like a huge, like, was one of my favorite series in games, because there's so many different games and there's so many different things going on with it. There's so many stories. There's like gonna make you cry stories too. Yeah. I would say for Fang, for you, Fang. Let's see.
Do you guys have a waifu from Shira? Because I remember you guys saying you don't like Ketra very much. Yeah, honestly, she has more dislike for Ketra than me. But the truth is that I'm like vaguely indifferent to Ketra. I have some ships. I don't think I have a waifu. I like Adora. I think she's a cool character / Shira. I like Glimmer. I think she's a cool character too. I like Mermista. She's fun. And I have the materials to make a Mermista cosplay. I've had them for like at least 2 years.
At least 2.
And I like mermaids. So that's why one of my friends was like, you should cosplay Mermista. I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But I haven't done it yet. Just haven't.
It's on the list. It's just on the list.
There's a lot. And I like Seahawk. None of them are really
adventure.
My waifus, honestly.
No, you just like
them. I just like them. I ship Scorpia and Adora.
That was recent, by the way. Recently.
I saw like a scene where Adora is like being held captive by Ketra and Scorpia is like holding on to her. And I kind of found the dynamic very interesting. Because Scorpia is so sweet and Ketra was kind of like being mean to her, and Scorpia's like holding her hostage, but I feel like a lot sweeter to her than Ketra was, especially at the time. And I like could vision this whole like fanfic story in my brain of and I do write fanfics
You gonna write that one?
No. Not right now. Honestly, like the last time I tried writing a fanfic was like a couple days. Not tried. The last time I started writing one, and I was like, this is too many words to write down. This whole idea of her like kind of rescuing Adora and like taking her off and being sweet to her.
Oh, Miss Seahawk adventure. Oh, Mister. Shall we go on an adventure today?
She's I'd pay money to see you cosplays for Mista, but only because KB has Seahawk. She obviously does the voice of Seahawk, and so we talked about doing that. That would be really fun. And she actually, before we met, only cosplayed male characters.
Yeah.
She started cosplaying female characters because we like doing couples cosplay. Yeah. But before that, she was like, "This is my first time doing a female cosplay. Like, I don't know how I feel about it." I think she also like. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You don't like getting like attention from men.
No, I don't.
And getting like crushed on by men. So cosplaying like female characters is kind of like a little bit iffy. Yeah.
Yes, we can go on an adventure.
So I think she's typically more comfortable cosplaying male.
I could have a mustache.
And she has been hit on by gay boys who thought she was a guy before.
Oh yeah, that's always an interesting
that happens. But I think you'd maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, rather get hit on by gay guys and then tell them you're a girl and then be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Then get hit on by straight guys.
Yeah, because straight dudes are just
at least
like,
once they find out, they're like, never mind.
Yeah, they're like, they back off. Straight guys try to make a whole argument, and I just say, well, girls are better. And then if it really gets down to like, well, have you slept with a guy before? How do you know you don't like it? And then that usually gets them to stop.
Would you guys be interested in my OG story I'm working on? It is a Yuri romance.
Yes!
I would be interested in that.
Oh,
that
yes.
Sounds really interesting.
More Yuri, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like reading books too.
That's
true. Just reading a romance story. Yeah, we should probably wrap up. We've been on for a couple hours now. We'll have to plan another.
I didn't realize it was that long already.
Yeah, I know. This is fun. We're having fun chatting.
Yeah. You got to hear my story of how we got proposed.
Yeah,
it's great. Good thing I have 5 more water bottles over here.
Yeah. So until then, we'll have to put up some of the stuff from Dragon Con. I have more shorts that I took on my phone that we haven't gotten up, and maybe we can put up a slideshow of pictures.
Slideshow.
Because it's just we're always trying to figure out how to share our adventures at conventions. It's kind of complicated figuring out the best way. Favorite colors.
You used to have blue as
mine.
Your favorite.
For a long time was blue. Now it's purple. I like pink too. Oh, that's yours. We have this.
I was always been purple.
It's always been purple. I like pink and purple, but I do still like blue. If you look at our cover art on our page too, it's blue, pink, and purple all over. Yep, it's midnight.
Oh dang, girl!
I was gonna ask what time it was there.
You need some sleep.
Well, thanks so much. I know sometimes you stay up late when we release videos and stuff, so that's really sweet that you stayed and hung out with us. And we better get going.
Need some lunch.
Yeah, lunchtime. Yeah, and we have actually maybe some videos to record today.
Yes, we have some videos to record today. We do have a reaction video coming out at 2. I didn't know how long it was going to take, so I changed it to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to check out the new reaction video.
Yeah, and it's a Freenbeck one.
It's a Freenbeck one.
Yep.
It's a Shares to Share Part 2.
Yeah, awesome. All right, you all. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We look forward to connecting with you again soon, and we will be sending so much love. Till next time.
Laters. I need to pee.